Hey there, Trisha here, and I want to go over the trades that I took on January 13th, Tuesday. I took one trade only, and I'll go over that here in a minute. I use two setups, one off a longer tick chart, one off a smaller tick chart, and I require all my indicators to be in alignment on all my charts, and then I will take the trade. This is a trade that I took at about 142 it was, and it was a scalp setup that was setting up, and I'm going to go over why there really weren't many of our setups yesterday, but this is one that I did take, and I went short at 862.75 with a market order, and I got out over here at this rectangular box at 860.75 for a gain of 2. I liked it. There was divergence on our one indicator, our lower indicator. The lines were in the correct alignment, so I took it. There really was not much yesterday that I liked at all. And I'm showing you this because this is our longer tick chart, and we like our prices to be either above both moving averages to go long or below both moving averages to go short. And you could see that there really was only a short time yesterday when we really had that. I mean, this is just slop. It's not really giving us any direction. You just kind of went sideways. Yeah, there was a pretty large range there, between here and here, but there was no place to get on the boat. The trend lines that are drawn here I actually drew on. I don't have, with Sierra, I don't have the automatic trend lines that I really, really like. I'm working on that, so hopefully over the weekend I'll figure something out. But, most of us know how to do trend lines, so not a big deal. So when this bar here broke that trend line, I was thinking, well, maybe we'll get a setup. But, when we drill down to our smaller time frames, it didn't happen. So, a day like this, you just have to take what you get. Unless you're trading another method, then obviously, you would have more scalp trades, using some other scalp method. So again, if you have another method for, days like this, then, absolutely use it. This method does work on choppy days. It's just there was nothing setting up on this choppy day, so, I choose to pass. This is our minute chart, and I wanted to show you this. Again, you could see it's a sloppy mess, but yes, you have swings high, down, up, down, up, down, and that's fine. I mean, there are different ways to trade that as well. I don't trade. I mean, I have my two setups that I use, and I'm not going to stray from those. There are many different methods, and this is what I'm going to stick with and what I've always stuck with, at least for the last 14 months or so, 12 months or so. But the reason why I'm showing you this is that you have your swing highs, lows, high lows, but how do you know that this is going to be the top and you can go short? You really don't. You're still in an uptrend technically. I drew the fib lines on here. I know that you probably can't see the blue ones very well, but the white one is right at our 50% mark. So really, the way that I trade is I'm not going to take a short unless the trend changes. And in order for the trend to change, I needed to get below that 50% mark and then look for a setup on our smaller tick chart off, either a scalp or if we get something set up on our longer tick chart. But, the way that I trade, we were not in a downtrend, so, I really couldn't take a short. Again, was just kind of a sloppy mess and not a whole lot going on. About 1 o'clock is finally when we got past that 50% mark, and that's why that trade that I took was so late in the day. So again, some people will choose just to trade the scalp setup that we use, just using the trend indicator, which is our indicator here on the bottom of this screen, being over 20. So if a scalp trade sets up, they'll take it in the direction of the trend when it fires off. I choose not to do that because your odds are not as good, but people do it, and that's something that you can certainly back test and see how that works on a choppy day. But, I'm happy with the +2 that I got, because it's certainly better than, losing. So, still had a gain for the day. So I took one trade today, and it was for a gain of 2. And you can go to www.easyemintrade.com and check out the setups.